So I think next we should talk about how we move the product family forward and make the products actually fulfill that brand promise. Like Mikkel kind of strategically positioned where we're going, but it's interesting to think about how we can manifest that user in the center of everything inside of our products and really grow with that. We've talked about how, traditional software is built in silos. It's built for the buyer, the marketing buyer, the sales buyer, the support buyer. And really, they all have their own concerns, and they're all separate ways of doing things. And we want to drive the customer into the center of these conversations or these interactions and make sure that the customer is the most important person. And that's actually quite hard because there's many years of tradition of just basically building software for a particular vertical, for a department, for a buyer. And the net result of this is basically that as an end user, your experience to you is very clear. Rodney here is seeing his interaction with this brand through a series of discrete events that happen one after the other. He receives a coupon code, he buys something, he has a support call, he returns something, he buys something else. Things happen for him one after the other, whether wherever those messages or interactions are coming from. But from inside of the company that's serving him, it's like, well, there are marketing emails over here, there are support conversations over here, and there's sales interactions and transactions over here. And those things aren't necessarily tied together. So there's no problem kind of in computer science and software that can't be solved with another layer of indirection. So layered on top of these systems, traditionally, we have this sort of 360-degree view of the customer software that we're building out that basically involves gluing together kind of the notes from over here and the last sort of nudging that this person got from a salesperson and the support records and everything else, and you stovepipe all of that together, and it feels like you have this view of the customer, but what you really have is just basically a series of logs from different tools put together, not in the same timeline, not experienced in the same way that Rodney experiences his interactions with the brand. And this reminds us a lot of the original challenge that Mikkel was talking about, which is software that's built for the institution, software that's difficult to deploy, solutions that don't really solve the problem. They basically put in place more layers of software, one on top of the other, all of it disintermediating the user from the person that they're interacting with or the system they're interacting with. And so our goal is to build software that puts the relationship first, puts the user in the middle, and basically helps people deliver a great customer experience. Our products to date have really, we think, put us in a good position to do that. So we have a collection of products that sort of control a lot of customer conversations for people and help them drive those through. So we have the support product that handles email, API tickets, social tickets, these kind of things. We have a help center where people can self-serve. We capture those interactions, we know about them. We have a chat product for instant messaging. We have message for Facebook Messenger and new messaging platforms that are coming out. And we have talk for traditional voice. So collectively, we're gathering all of these signals, and we're also able, through those products, to capture millions and millions of events. We can do that because a couple of years ago, we built technology that allowed people to take those support interactions and drive them into the website, into the product, into the experience that the user was having so it was immediately available. And that gives us the opportunity to collect billions of pings from every interaction that a Rodney would be having. Once you have that much data, obviously you need some way to collect it together, understand it, analyze it, report on it. And so today we launched a product we call Explore, which is the BI tool that's going to underpin all Zendesk products. And we recognize that underpinning all Zendesk products is an incredibly powerful way to put that information together, but most of the information about your customers probably doesn't live in the Zendesk universe. It isn't generated on Zendesk properties, possibly on properties where we have widgets, but it comes from all over the place. So the Explore product actually gives us an opportunity the first time to let our customers load in CSV files, report from other databases, connect to Shopify, do these kind of things that allow them, through the 60-plus connectors, to mash up their support data, that picture of the customer, with the picture of the customer they have in other systems, and really begin to sort of pattern match across the customer base, understand trends, and analyze big data at scale around customer activity. And that gives you this picture of sort of trends and the way the group is behaving, the herd mentality of your customers, if you like. But what it doesn't give you is the picture, again, back to Rodney, of his individual interaction. And he doesn't give you any tools to basically capture that interaction and drive new workflows, drive nurturing, and drive experiences for Rodney that reflect his experience. So the second tool we're launching is Zendesk Connect. And Zendesk Connect basically is where we're going to collect all of those events for the individual and render them in a timeline which is easily understandable. We're summarizing all of Rodney's activities, and we're able to see, what is going on for him. Within that tool, you'll be able to segment people to say, okay, I want to see people who are active this week and have an open support ticket, people who just went inactive and are possible churn risks, who have not used the product in 7 days, and basically take action as people move from one segment to another. And the action that you primarily want to take is a messaging action. It's an action where you actually reach out and try and engage the user again, either in email or within the products that they're using, and get them to do something. If we think about an example, here is Nicolette, and she is ordering dinner, right? And I imagine that I have recently founded a food delivery startup in San Francisco. That doesn't put me in a very exclusive group of human beings, because almost everyone has founded a food delivery service in San Francisco recently. And what I'm trying to do is grow my user base, gain engagement, do these kind of things. And so I can see, using Explore, I can find the people who are repeat users of my service and get dinner delivered 3 times a week. And I'm going to see that those are the people who have entered their delivery address, so it's very easy for them to one-click buy. The next thing I'm probably going to do is build a segment within of Connect of all of the people who currently have had a delivery or have not yet had a delivery and have no address stored. I'm going to use that segment then to trigger a message whenever they come back to the product to say, hey, put your address in and reuse it. It's sort of, if you think about that message, is it marketing or is it support or is it sales? It's all of the above, because it's really helping me have a better experience with the product by storing my delivery address. And there are millions of examples out there of ways that we can improve the user experience by letting people analyze, segment, and message their customers and really understand that flow. So that's Connect, and together, these become, we're enriching the product family by letting people analyze data, understand data, and kind of grow out their understanding of customers, and hopefully putting that customer-centric view in the middle of the product. And that's, for us, we're a design-driven company, a product-driven company, and you have to be very intentional, I think, about the kind of products you're building and the way that you do that. So today we have a guest speaker. We're very fortunate to have Yves Bahar with us. He's a world-renowned designer. He created chairs for Herman Miller, Jawbone products, things for Samsung, and is actually one of the designers behind the one laptop per child machine. I don't know if you're familiar with that. And he's going to talk to us today about design intent and the way that one can actually build products around that user experience and design.